Today we're going to talk about playable elites. Let's put the spotlight on them and discuss whether they should return for Halo Infinite. Now, because we mainly focus on weapons here, this has been a topic that I wanted to cover for a while, probably around 4 years now, so I'm finally going to say what I wanted to say for a long time. And I'll get right to the point. Do you want to know what I think? What I really think about being able to play as an armored dinosaur? Well, I believe playable elites should not return in Halo Infinite. Ever since Bungie introduced them back in Halo 2 and gave players that option of playing as an elite, it was a mistake that lasted all the way through Halo Reach. So thankfully, when 343 acquired the mantle of responsibility for Halo, they got rid of that. No playable elites in Halo 4 and Halo 5, and it should be like that in Halo Infinite. Playable Spartans only, that's it. Yeah, hopefully you didn't fall for that, because there's no way ever that I'd say no to playable elites. Man, like Satan himself could hold a burning pitchfork to my neck and demand I say no to playable elites if I want to live, and I'd tell him, suck a big squash. They absolutely should return in Halo Infinite. In fact, I strongly believe that they need to return. Playable elites was one of the best additions that was made to Halo, and 343 choosing to remove them was one of the worst decisions. A key thing about Halo as a game is that it is a sci-fi FPS, futuristic, set in space, strange planets, new worlds, alien technology, and aliens themselves, all in a package of ambience, mystery, and exploration that you as a player journey through with your gun pointed at the head of the universe. And you do this as a Spartan, a human. You see this unique world and experience it from a human perspective. Well, a superhuman perspective, but still, you get the point. But is that all? No. Remember how awesome it was in Halo 2 when we first got to play as an elite, being the Arbiter? Remember how cool it was to experience Halo through the eyes of an alien? Remember when you hit that pedestrian with your car at the crosswalk and drove away?
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Now, I'm not saying Halo Infinite needs to have a split campaign where you play as the Arbiter again. I'm not saying we need to re-experience Halo through the eyes of an alien. What I'm getting at is that playable elites allowed individuals to play Halo in a different way. It allows players to play the game as a non-human. You actually get to play as an elite from the Halo universe. That's awesome, that's cool, and in my opinion, that's badass. And not just because I think so, but because it's immersive when it comes to game design. Immersion that really gets you into the Halo universe by allowing you to be something different, an alien. Now, even though I obviously think having playable elites in Halo Infinite would just be fantastico, there are others who disagree. They don't want to see them in the sandbox for many reasons, but the main one deals with hitboxes. So as most of you know, a hitbox is basically the area of a player model that can take damage when you shoot at them. So when you shoot someone in the arm or the leg, for example, they will take damage because it's part of their hitbox. Now, what does this have to do with elites and Spartans? Well, to put it simply, it deals with a lot. Because if you choose to add elites to the sandbox, then you have to create a sandbox that's not only balanced with a Spartan model, but also the elite model. In other words, you need to make their hitboxes similar to minimize issues. But from an anatomical perspective, goddamn, finally got that right for the third recording, that's not exactly possible because the body structure of a Spartan and an elite is different. So you end up with a scenario like in Halo 3 where the Spartan and elite hitboxes are the same size but slightly different shapes. And clearly shooting some parts of elite doesn't count as hit registration because it tries to be similar to the Spartan hitbox. Now, this confused the hell out of many players in the Halo 3 days, especially when trying to headshot an elite from behind. So in Halo Reach, Bungie ended up creating a separate hitbox for Spartans and elites. Spartans were smaller and elites were bigger, but even then, this was met with mixed reactions, which was kind of expected. You can never really satisfy the entire Halo community, something that I realized a long time ago by mentioning Sprint should be in Halo. My god! So maybe 343 were like, yeah, let's not deal with this and just get rid of playable elites. It's a sacrifice, but we'll deal with it. Now, obviously, I'm hypothesizing here, so I don't really know, but what I do know is that playable elites are out. They're gone. So if we want to bring them back, we have to do it in a way that creates a proper place for them in the sandbox. Now, since 343 has given us absolutely no information about Halo Infinite's sandbox, like not even a hint, except Sprint is going to be included, then I'll just discuss my own ideas how I personally would make playable elites return to Halo. So let's quickly go over a few things. First off, the Spartan and Elite hitboxes would be slightly different. They would be different to perfectly match the anatomical structure of the body for the corresponding species. Spartans have a Spartan hitbox and Elites have an Elite hitbox. And I do this because I'd want to minimize ghost bullets on the Elite model. So if you shoot an Elite's neck, it should and will count as registration. Furthermore, the Elite's head position would be slightly different compared to a Spartan's, but not by much. Because Elites are more hunched over compared to Spartans, the head hitbox would be slightly lower, but the size of the head hitbox would be the same as a Spartan's. Which leads into my next point. In terms of total hitbox surface area, the Spartan and Elite hitboxes would be identical. So if a Spartan surface area is 2 square meters, then the Elite surface area would also be 2 square meters. This would ensure that shooting a Spartan wasn't harder or easier compared to shooting an Elite, or vice versa. In my opinion, the hitbox size needs to be the same, or else the differences would mess with kill times depending how many bullets hit in a given amount of time due to the body size, which is a lot to think about, but it makes sense. If you're holding an AR, for example, it cannot be easier to kill an Elite versus a Spartan or the other way around, so that's why total hitbox size would be the same, and that means no difference in head hitbox area or body hitbox area. Moving on, let's talk about where you can use playable elites. If it were up to me, ranked arena playlists are a no. You can't use them there. Spartans vs Spartans only, we're trying to keep it as balanced as possible, and that's because I know you can throw off some players' aim with different player models despite having identical hitboxes. So to avoid those issues, Spartans only in ranked playlists. But custom games, social playlists, Firefight and Warzone, if it comes back, that's totally fine. I don't think it's a major issue if someone wants to play as a dino in those playlists, but that's just me. Again, you can't satisfy everyone in the Halo community, so that's that. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the major balancing issues because I don't want this to be a long ass video, so now we'll get to talk about something that I think is cool, and that is customization. How should we be able to customize our armor for an elite? Alright, so I think the helmet, chest piece, arms, and legs should be customizable, but 343 doesn't need to go over the top with this. Like if they included somewhere between 5 to 8 different armor sets for elites at launch of Halo Infinite, that will be fine. They can add more armor as the game progresses, but at launch you need to have a bunch of armor sets and be able to mix and match armor pieces like in Halo 3. You want to wear a certain helmet? Put it on. If you want to wear a different chest piece, nice, put that one on. It shouldn't be like it was with Halo Reach Elites where you just select an elite armor set and that's it. Full elite customization should be the goal. But don't stop there. Make these elites Halo elites. You don't need to go out of your way to create 20 completely new, never before seen armor sets. What I'm talking about is this. Include some standard default elite armors from previous games, some mid-tier armors, and then some legendary versions. For example, and I'm gonna butcher these pronunciations because I'm gonna try to read in goddamn like Ukrainian or a Russian would. Sesa Refumi, the Heretic from Halo 2, remember him? Make his armor set available. Remember Rtas Vadum, Halfjaw from Halo 2, make that an armor set. How about the Honor Guards? Hell yeah, and how about the Arbiter's armor, the classic Arbiter set, and then the Golden Arbiter from Halo 5? That shit would be epic. You gotta admit, if you saw that in Halo's multiplayer with a damn energy sword running around slicing and dicing, that would be sick. But anyway, you get the point. Elite customization should be cool and we should have some truly legendary armor sets for elites. Now gameplay wise, I'm not going to get into this topic because again, we got no information on how Halo Infinite will play, so rather than speculate, I'll just say this. Whatever the Spartans can do, elites should be able to do it as well. So if there's no abilities, then no abilities for elites. But if there are abilities, then the same abilities that Spartans have, elites should have them too. No differences. So if we get clamber, sprint, slide, then it's the same across the board. Anyway, I'ma stop. That's pretty much the way I'd bring back elites, just some ideas and I wanted to share with you guys. Now I don't have all the best solutions, and as a disclaimer, I have no idea what 343 is planning for Halo Infinite. Honestly, no one really knows, but I'm gonna call it right here, right now. Playable elites will return. They'll be back, and with them they'll bring back a part of Halo we haven't seen in a while. A part of Halo that's been missing for too long in my mind. And hopefully this thing, the Playable Elites, 343 gets it right. I got my fingers crossed and do an occasional prayer to the Halo gods that Halo Infinite turns out awesome. So thanks for watching, and until next time.
center of this zone is a sacred icon critical to the great journey. I must find it.
We shall cut into the heart of this infestation, retrieve the icon, and burn any flood that stand in our way. The parasite is not to be trifled with. I hope you know what you're doing.